Nostradamus per 20. What does Nostradamus reveal to us for 2020? From economic crises, stock market crash, aberrant social-political slippages to the dramatic degradation of people's action and feelings. From a geoclimatic point of view, the need to purify and rebalance the earth will lead to hurricanes, floods, earthquakes, and volcanic eruptions. Nostradamus considered that in 2020 a new era will begin, both in terms of the calendar, but also realistically. The year 2020 marks a sacred moment, favorable and, at the same time, dangerous in the history of mankind, meant to bring both disasters and revelations. And the preceding years herald this terrible, yet wonderful potential. The critical year 2020 does not necessarily mean an end, but rather a fundamental transformation of the world we live in, a rebirth of humankind on a new spiritual level. 10 Major Nostradamus for 2020. The outbreak of the Third World War. WW3, the latent conflict between NATO and Russia, the exchange of words between Donald Trump and North Korea, but also the fact that, in 2020, the US will start the greatest military exercise in Asia made a lot of people think of Nostradamus' predictions. Most Nostradamus' cryptic messages seem to predict death and destruction. According to his prophecies, a 27 years devastating war will outbreak between two great world superpowers after the rising of the third Antichrist. This is how the prophecy sounds: in the city of God, there will be a great thunder. Two brothers are torn apart by chaos, while the fortress endures. The great leader will succumb. The third big war will begin when the big city is burning. Vladimir Putin will be assassinated, and Donald Trump will suffer from a mysterious disease. Nostradamus predicted a very violent year, both for the Russian President, Vladimir Putin, and for the American President, Donald Trump. According to experts, Nostradamus warned about the assassination attempt of Vladimir Putin, an armed conflict in the Middle East, and about the renewed relationship with his American counterpart between 2020 and 2021. The Russian President, Vladimir Putin, will suffer an assassination attempt by his security team. If the prophecy fulfills, Putin will be betrayed by someone very close to him. Regarding Donald Trump, the prophet predicted that he will suffer from a mysterious disease and that a member of the American president's family will be the victim of a traffic accident. Big financial crisis. According to Nostradamus' predictions for 2020, we are on the verge of an imminent market crash. The short-term, but powerful fall of the best-known American stock index, at the beginning of this year, has caused global effects, determining many people to think of a new crisis. While some analysts insist that we are not witnessing another bubble that is about to burst, like in 2008, other experts think that the economic chaos is lurking right around the corner. In 2020, England will have a new king. The Queen's death will be one of the most perturbing events in Great Britain from the past 70 years. Since her coronation, in 1952, Queen Elizabeth II has lived long enough to meet 13 Prime Ministers of Great Britain and 13 Presidents of the United States of America. Now she is 92 and, this year, her reign will end. At the death of the Queen, for at least 12 days, Great Britain will mourn, and stop any activity, the experts estimating losses in the country's economy of a few billion pounds. Banks and stock markets will close, and both the coronation of the Queen's successor will become national holiday days. Prince Charles will take the throne of Great Britain. He will then visit Scotland and Wales, shortly after the death of the Queen. A new pope in the Catholic Church. It is believed that Nostradamus referred to Pope Francis in quatrains 2.97 and 5.31. But the French prophet predicted the death of a pope in 2020. Pope Francis' successor will be a young man who will obtain a high position in 2020. The quatrain's interpretations claim that the new pope will create a scandal in the Catholic Church starting from 2020, which will last until 2029. Pope Francis will be the last true pope, while his successor will be a Pole whose papacy will lead to the disappearance of Rome, and who will be, in fact, the last sovereign pontiff. In the final persecution of the Holy Roman Church, there will reign Peter the Roman, who will feed his flock amid many tribulations, after which the seven-hilled city will be destroyed and the dreadful judge will judge the people. The end. The climate changes will affect the planet, and the world leaders will start to take measures against pollution. There will be hurricanes and earthquakes in some areas of North America. Yes, there will also be financial prosperity in 2020, but only if the money will be used, claims Nostradamus, for good purposes. 2020 will be characterized by many natural disasters, but also by accomplishments in science. There will be floods in many countries from Europe, Italy, Czech Republic, Great Britain, a continent that will endure many terrorist attacks. In the Middle East, the extremism phenomenon based on religion will increase. A major earthquake will hit the area between California, USA, and Vancouver, Canada. The Europeans and Americans will face the immigrant issue, and the terrorist attacks will be increasingly higher.